Your manager corrects you publicly, then smiles while saying it's for alignment.
We'll circle back to that later, Mark. Just for alignment. I think we should...
No, I think we should just...
Wait, let me finish.
I know this is frustrating. Did that seem fair? It's fine, really.
You're excluded from a decision, then told it was informal, spontaneous, and nothing to read into.
The plan is solid, it's efficient, and it leverages the new software to streamline operations and cut costs.
Not the right tone.
What specifically?
It's just not the right tone.
Your work is scrutinized more than others, and minor errors become documented patterns in your case.
Every time you try to find the specific error, you find yourself, not the situation.
Your uncertainty about these situations isn't a perception failure. It's evidence the system functions as intended. You're not dealing with miscommunication or personality clashes, but a pattern structured to prevent you from naming it. You received the wrong explanation for what you sensed, told it was conflict or misunderstanding, not the reality.
They told you it was a conflict, a misunderstanding, or a matter of fit, but it's none of those things.
We discussed this.
You check messages excessively, not for pending tasks, but to gauge the room's atmosphere before entering.
You rehearse conversations, over-explain decisions, and apologize for things that don't need it.
After apologizing, you often cannot fully explain why you gave it.
As I was saying, the algorithm definitely supports my proposal.
You leave meetings and replay what you said, searching for anything that might be used against you later.
They told you it was a conflict, a misunderstanding, or a matter of fit, but it's none of those things.
We discussed this.
That quieter version of yourself has become professional maturity or growth. It's not growth, but a hyper-monitored version of yourself, a contraction. This preemptive version of yourself is due to sustained exposure to an unpredictable social environment. Your nervous system adapted to an environment where rules were inconsistently enforced, and consequences fell only on you.
This adaptation isn't weakness. Your nervous system read the environment correctly. The environment is the problem.
In meetings, when you raised legitimate concerns, the response was always about how you raised it, not the content.
You were told you were too blunt or too forceful, something no one could precisely define. You found yourself defending your manner, while the original issue remained unaddressed.
This technique deliberately shifts focus from content to delivery, neutralizing your point and repositioning you.
This neutralized your point, repositioning you as a poor communicator.
We've had some concerns raised.
By whom? Team concerns.
Why?
You met a standard, but the standard moved, and criteria shifted before approval.
There was no version of your performance that resulted in consistent acknowledgement, so you kept working harder.
The increased effort is not coincidental. The bar is calibrated to stay just ahead of you.
It keeps your attention on your own performance, diverting focus from the underlying pattern.
Okay.
And that's why these numbers matter.
Public correction sends a social signal, entirely independent of the correction's content. It establishes hierarchy in the room, telling everyone your rank relative to the speaker.
The bully rarely needs to do this more than a few times. The positioning holds on its own.
Your reputation in this organization is defined by how you are discussed, not by what you've done.
This neutralized your point, repositioning you as a poor communicator.
By the time you enter a room, the perception of you has already been shaped.
Controlling how people see you is more efficient then controlling your actions.
This system protects social hierarchy. The person doing this responds to a perceived threat to their status or authority. Their behavior protects existing rank, following social logic rather than emotional dysfunction.
I can't get involved.
Exclusion is framed as coincidence, and your reputation circulates informally before any formal documentation.
Individual actions have explanations, but patterns are not accepted as evidence in formal processes.
That slide, that was mine.
We all contributed.
They notice whose ideas are taken seriously and whose receive small, practiced skepticism. There's a pattern I've observed.
Narrator.
Most stay quiet, not out of unkindness, but because intervening means choosing a side in a hierarchical organization.
The bully is either of higher status than you or protected by those who are.
Speaking up has specific career costs. Your behavior is constantly watched, while theirs continues without friction. Your isolation deepens, and the group's collective silence functions as social consensus. Nobody endorsed what was happening. The absence of opposition was sufficient.
Formal documentation of your performance has likely already begun in ways you don't fully know about.
Actually, I think...
The record of your issues often predates your awareness that they've been identified.
Informal reputation damage becomes institutional fact, carrying weight against your personal experience.
Institutional documentation carries weight, and your personal account almost never matches it.
HR processes investigate events, but what happened to you is a pattern, not a series of discrete incidents.
The mismatch isn't a flaw. It's the precise point where the system is most protected from your account.
Mediation treats structural power imbalance as a communication problem between equivalent parties.
This is unacceptable.
You leave with a new designation after a formal finding that evidence was insufficient to support your account.
Institutional documentation carries weight, and your personal account almost never matches it.
You were not in a conflict. It was a pattern with infrastructure, where both sides carry real risk.
Not worth the risk.
Management processes formalize it through documentation, built to manage organizational liability, not your experience.
Every component of that system worked as designed, including the part where you couldn't name it.
You worked harder, apologized more, made yourself smaller, becoming a quieter, more careful version. The pattern required your confusion to keep running. A person who understands is a direct threat.
You weren't failing. You accurately perceived a system designed to make you doubt your own accuracy.
Your self-doubt was not a personal failing. It was the intended output of the system.
The pattern needed you confused, self-correcting, and focused on yourself to maintain its operation.